Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Popular Decks. I'm your host Michael, and today we are playing this blue-red Pieces of the Puzzle deck. Before I get started, I want to remind you guys to go down below and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and hit that bell icon if you want to be alerted every time I put out new videos. Finally, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I always tweet out anytime I put out new videos and anytime I go live on Twitch. I don't stream a ton, but I might be able to get in some streams at some point, and I don't tweet a lot else other than my content, so you don't have to worry about me bombarding your page. And finally, leave me any comments or suggestions down below. So this deck is kind of a spicy one. It was really spicy when MLbo first debuted it a few months ago. It was really awesome, and I think he's trying to bring it back a little bit. He just went 5-0 with it, and basically, the deck is built to be really good with pieces of the puzzle. So if you've watched my blue-red or blue-black 100 card decks, you will know that pieces of the puzzle is pretty much a house in those decks, and it's awesome here too. It's 3 mana to look at your top 5 cards and then grab 2 instants of sorceries out of there. But another important part of it is that you get to put the rest of the cards in the graveyard. So we have a lot of spells that get value out of the graveyard. We've got Deep Analysis, Accumulated Knowledge, and Firebolt. The way the deck wins, and when you play pieces of the puzzle, you need to either play win conditions that can be found by pieces of the puzzle, or you need to play a ton of win conditions. So in this deck, we are only playing a couple win conditions, but they can all be found with pieces of the puzzle. That's why we have these copies of Flurry of Horns. So this is a 5 mana to make some Minotaurs, so you get 4 power out of these guys with haste, so that's kind of nice. And then otherwise we just have to burn out our opponent with burn spells. As far as the actual spells in the deck go, we've got a ton of removal spells. So we got 4 Bolt, 4 Flame Slash, 4 Firebolt, and an Electrickery. Take care of all those pesky fairy decks, take care of the stompy decks, all stuff like that. Got 1 Dispel. Every deck plays instants except like Mono Black, and Mono Black is a great matchup anyway, so or instants that we care about. I mean, Mono Black plays some instants, but I mean, I guess we could save one of our 2/3s with a Dispel, but it's just not that important. And then for counterspells, we've got Counterspell and Exclude. Exclude is awesome. Counterspell, pretty standard, you just need to play those. We've got 4 Accumulated Knowledge, one of the best card draw spells as long as you're dumping cards into your graveyard. It's not that good if you just have to naturally draw all these, but if you can search them out some way, they become really strong. And then other card advantage spells, we got Pieces of the Puzzle like I mentioned before, and then 2 copies of Deep Analysis. Obviously it's great if you are dumping it into the graveyard with Pieces of the Puzzle. It's just a ton of card advantage. That's pretty much it. The mana base, no Snowlands, not like a Scred mana base. Actually, if I were to play this, I just built this right now, but I would probably go ahead and put all Snowlands in here, just so in like your first 2 turns, if you play Snowlands, your opponent doesn't know necessarily what you're playing. But other than that, mana base is pretty standard. We got 8 duels and 1 cycling land, so we'll see how it goes with the main deck. I haven't played with this deck yet. I don't know if I don't have any suggestions or anything at this point. I think it looks pretty good so far. Sideboard, we've got a couple, got quite a few blasts. So we've got 8 blasts, the full-on 8. We've got 3 dispels, I mean. So great against all of the instant speed decks. We got Electrickery for all the token stuff and Boggles. Boggles looks to be a pretty terrible matchup for the deck right now. I think MLbo is just pretty much given up on fighting it, which makes sense. I mean, you could put Swirling Sandstorm in the sideboard. That would be the only thing I would maybe consider putting in here. Got 2 Gorilla Shamans, kill all those affinity decks. And then finally we got a Flaring Pain. So the reason that the Flaring Pain is in here now, it never used to be, but this deck was actually impossible to beat a Circle of Protection red, and it is impossible to beat one main deck right now, simply because we can only muster, if they have 7 mana, we at best can, like, if we double bolt them, they take 1 bolt, they take 3 damage if they have 7 mana, like even if we have every single source of damage in our deck, basically. So you can't really kill anyone through a Circle of Protection. That's why we have the Flaring Pain, finish them off. 2 turns should be plenty. Hopefully it's plenty. Don't have a lot of choice. If it's not enough, it's not enough, but that's that. All right. Not a lot else to say about the deck. Let's see how it fares in the leagues. One thing that I guess I do have one suggestion or one interesting question is whether or not we want to have something like Magma Spray for Young Wolf and Stormbound Geist and stuff, so we don't just get 2-for-1 by those things. But right now, this is what we've got for burn spells. So we'll see how it works for us. I'll see you guys in the games.